back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, your story titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my girl I want a break after she cussed me out because I left her at my family reunion? And guys, this is about a guy who's 27 years old with his girl, I think for a couple years, and has recently kicked her to the curb, rightfully, after she threw this big giant tantrum making a fool of him in public, in front of his family, because, well, you'll see why. And I thought it'd be a very good one to go over here, guys, and make the point that there are certain unforgivable things that anybody can do to another spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. But one of the biggest ones for me is, right up there at the top, is embarrassing you publicly in front of your friends, family, and all that. I mean, that is just zero respect. And there are people out there that like to throw tantrums and fights all the time like that. And if they do, in my opinion, you always walk away. You never stay there and fight and argue with them, because that only eggs them on. You certainly don't placate them. Well, what did I do? And shit like that. No. You walk away. And in my opinion, frankly, end it when they pull that type of crap. And you're going to see the guy ultimately does that. In the beginning, he's so baffled by this. He does a few things I disagree with, but ultimately the right decision here. And by the way, guys, come over and check me out on X, formerly Twitter. Really growing over there. This is a way for you guys to engage with me more. I'm having a really good time talking to a lot of you guys out there, covering articles and videos and memes and polls and all that. So definitely come on over. It handles SSM channels, or you can just enter in SSM and you'll see me with the sunglasses and come give me a follow. So it starts off, says here, I, a 27-year-old male, I've been dating Emma, a 27-year-old female, for about a year and 3 months. I can tell you I love her, but I recently told her I want a break because of how she spoke to me, yelling and cussing me out. Doesn't sound like she loves you if she's doing that. She says couples fight, and that's all it was. I don't know if I really want to feel this way again, and now she's telling me I'm the a-hole for trying to walk away over a fight. I need advice because after 4 days, I'm wondering if I'm ending things too fast. Okay, so I'm going to go through the story, and at the end, I want you guys to see who's the real a-hole here, this dude or Emma. He says, a week ago, I took my girl to my family reunion, the first family reunion since COVID, and everybody showed up. My big family was all together. My girlfriend will be meeting a lot of new people, but a few she has met already. Being at the reunion, an hour, my girlfriend and I were talking to my cousin, who knew my girlfriend from working together. So while those two were catching up, I saw an uncle that I haven't seen in a while, so I went over and said hello. Talking with him for about 10 minutes, I kept turning around to see if my girlfriend was still with my cousin talking. My grandmother asked me to help carry 4 tables. I let my girlfriend know I was going to carry 4 tables inside and asked did she want to come along. She said no, she's fine talking to my cousin. I helped carry the 4 tables, and I came back over to her. I was away no more than 10 to 15 minutes, and as we make eye contact, I could see she looked annoyed. Okay, time out. In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong here. His girlfriend's talking to his cousin. He said, hey, I'm going to go help Grandma move some tables because Grandma's old. She can't be lifting these tables. Okay. You want to come along? No, I'm okay. So there should be no problem. And any ordinary girl who maybe, wasn't so comfortable being around lots of people would still maybe go off to the bathroom or get a snack at the kitchen or go off to the car. Well, watch this. As I walked towards her, she started walking towards me with an open sound away from anyone. As I walked up, she said, why the F are you leaving me alone? I said I told you I was carrying the tables and you were with my cousin. She's a familiar face. Emma said she saw other family and walked away to talk with them, so I'm standing here looking like a dumbass because you left me alone. You heard me go help Grandma move some tables, Emma. I'm saying this, not him. I invited you to come along. And so the cousin walked away. God forbid. Look already, she's starting BS. I honestly never saw her so upset. She said, if I had known you'll be leaving me alone, I would have stayed home. I said, I'm sorry. I wasn't meaning for you to feel that way. I helped and came right back. She said, whatever, and walked back towards everyone. So right there, big bunch of drama. He's been with her for a year and 3 months, 15 months. According to him, this is the first time he's seen this, so he's kind of blindsided here. This is why you're with your girl for a while before you get really serious, like proposing to her and everything. You want to be in situations to see what she's really like. Because people can put on an act for a while in the beginning. But right here, look how she's behaving. I'd be like, cut the shit, leave. I'm going to be here with my family, have a good time. You can fucking walk home. I ain't taking your ass up. Call Uber. Or do Uber. Or Lyft. You can visibly see that she was upset. And I asked her, please, not here in front of my family. Smack. No. She doesn't deserve a please with the way she's behaving. She's acting like a petulant child. She said, take me home then. I said, are you serious? Right now? She started walking towards the car. Driving her home, I said, I was only gone 10 to 15 minutes. And she said, it doesn't matter how long you're gone. You left me alone looking like a dumbass. Well, number one, he shouldn't have driven her home. But he's blindsided. Again, Uber, or she can fucking walk. But she's saying she was looking like a dumbass? No, she's looking like a dumbass not because she was standing alone for a whopping couple minutes, God forbid, but because she's behaving like a freaking child. He shouldn't be entertaining her. He should be arguing with her. But he's new to this. I felt so blindsided, and in shock that things escalated this quickly. 30 minutes later, I was just carrying the tables in, and at one point she was just yelling and going off. Then she said, you're acting like a dumbass, it's ridiculous. As she got out of the car, she said, I'll call you when I'm ready to talk. I'd be like, don't even bother, a-hole. So guys, right here, this is grounds for a breakup. I wouldn't have taken her home. She could walk, or Uber, or Lyft, or a taxi, or a fucking pogo stick. I don't care. No. Total disrespect, not happening. She'll call him like she expected me waiting around the phone. Well, watch this. Well, I drove home in silence, confused about how we got here, and I'm wrong for leaving her and not thinking about how she'd feel. I do understand that, and I apologize. Smack! You didn't do anything wrong, dude, but you're so shocked by this, you don't know what to think. I thought she'd be comfortable with my cousin. I didn't think she walked away. My girlfriend spoke to me like I was trash, and I'm not okay with that. Later that night, I got a text from her best friend saying how I'm an a-hole for leaving her and what was the point of bringing her. Now she's doubling down, getting the best friend involved. Well, he could do one of two things with his best friend. Either ignore her, which would drive her crazy, or B, tell her to go F herself, which would make him feel good, but he's reacting to her. They always drag the best friend in. She told me that my girlfriend was upset and couldn't believe me. After 3 days of not hearing from her, I texted her a long message letting her know that I love her, but I don't ever want to be spoken to that way again by my partner. Well, notice 3 days she hasn't reached out to him. She's punishing him. This is going to be his life if he stays with a girl like this. This is why, guys, you can't tolerate this type of crap. And my girls out there, my 4%ers, you can't tolerate this shit if your guy acts this way. It goes both ways. I understand being wrong, but not hearing from you for 3 days is crazy. She called me, and when I answered, she told me that I'm wrong for wanting to take a break because she's upset. Oh, notice she couldn't reach out to him or respond, but then the second he leaves a message saying we're over, all of a sudden, boom, she can call him right back. She said, you left me, and you don't see a problem with that. And I told her, it's how you spoke to me that's the issue. I didn't mean to have you feeling alone, but even after apologizing, you kept going. Of course, that's why she kept going, because he kept apologizing, right? If he didn't put up with her crap, it wouldn't have gone this far. He could just ended it with her. Or at the very least, just walked away. Say, take your shit and get out of here, acting like a fucking child. But he engaged with her. You don't do that, guys. She said couples fight, and she can't believe I want to end things. So you're the bad guy. Again, I do care about her and love her, but for the past 3 days, I've been thinking about how she spoke to me, sitting in that feeling, and not hearing from her did not help. I sent texts and called her, but she did not answer. I kept thinking about how she was just yelling and cussing me out. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up? Please, whatever advice is needed, sorry for the long post. Well, it's not over. We're going to have part 2 to this where our guy handles things right. So to answer that, no, you're not the a-hole for, wanting to break up. You're smart for doing that. But you were the a-hole for engaging with her, for not telling her to walk home right there. You did nothing wrong. For goodness sake, and she doesn't have social anxiety, which he mentions she doesn't have social anxiety. If you're at a party, how many of you guys been to parties? You don't know a lot of people. You went with your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. You know, if there's a moment you're not talking to somebody, you can go get some more snacks or food from the freaking buffet or whatever. You can go to the bathroom. You can go for a walk. And, you know, you're cool with your girl, your wife, talking to people, their family, no big deal. But she's a big drama queen. Imagine life with her. Again, this is why you spend years getting to know your girl before you propose to her or get married, because things like this reveal people's character. Real situations. Now on to part 2 to see how this plays out. And it ain't the way she expected. He says, hello, everyone. I was not expecting so many people to comment and give advice. Well, when a situation like this arises, people come out. Thank you, everyone. Honestly, I need to hear some of these comments. A few of you said that she's done this before in some way. I've never seen her that upset. It really threw me off, and for it to be the first time at my family reunion, again, it threw me off. Yeah, of all places, she could do this in front of his giant extended family. When this guy was looking forward to this, having a good time, she just wants to ruin things. She's a giant asshole. When she asked to leave immediately, instead of us figuring out what was going on, I didn't think my family reunion was the place for us to have any type of back and forth, so of course I took her home. I'm not someone who yells at my partner. Well, because you have self-control, and you're not that way. And a guy has to be calm. But I would have told her to leave, or at least go down for a walk down the street to talk to her. But he shouldn't have left that reunion he was looking forward to. He says, my parents only communicate through yelling and random outbursts. I do not communicate that way and don't want a relationship like my parents. Well, good for you, man. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds, and it does not look good for someone my size to be yelling at my partner. I agree with that. Anybody sees a big guy yelling at a much smaller girl instantly is going to take her side. She could literally be running after him with a chainsaw, and he yells at her, and still they're going to take her side, the girl with the chainsaw. I don't ever want my partner to feel intimidated or unsafe from me yelling at her. Well, a day after I posted this story here, I texted Emma asking if we could talk. Smack! You're still chasing her. Stop doing that. And don't ask her if we can talk. If you want to talk, you demand we can talk given her behavior. A few of you said she could have social anxiety that I did not know about. Bullshit. I have a really big family, so I wanted to see if maybe that was it. I asked her if she had social anxiety, and she said no. Shocker. No, she has a bitch disorder. That's what she has. I said, help me understand why you're so upset. Oh, God, here we go again. You're just giving another chance to freaking go psycho. She said, I don't understand how uncomfortable it is to just stand around not knowing anyone, and I should just stayed around longer before leaving her. You should have said come with me while I was moving the tables. After she got done talking for about 5 minutes, I told her I'm done with this relationship. Thank the Lord. About freaking time. You came up with all these different scenarios I should have done, but here's one you didn't think about. Tell me that it made you uncomfortable being left alone so I can be with you. I would have understood you only know 10 people out of 10 you only know 10 people out of 70 to 80 people. So I would just have walked you around meeting people. This was a moment I could have shown you that I care about your feelings, and you could have trusted my family is super inviting, and all she had to do was give it a chance. It has all shown me that this isn't a relationship that I want to be a part of, and I don't want to be in a relationship where my partner is justifying cussing me out. Good for you, man. Good. Life's short. If he stayed with her after this whole thing wasn't a big deal. Now imagine if there was something that arguably could have been a big deal, how she'd react. He stayed with her, the whole relationship going forward would be this. So she started backpedaling, surprise, surprise, and saying that a lot of other stuff, but I told her I had to go, and good luck in life. Nice. She wasn't expecting that, the fucking princess. Well, I haven't spoken to her at all. I blocked her number, and I blocked her friend's phone number. I want to find a partner. I want to be with someone who can talk to me and figure things out. I feel like that was an easy win for our relationship, but it went the way it did for some reason. Dude, you dodged a big one. In the grand scheme of things, be happy it happened, because you could have wasted more time with this broad. Now you know, 15 months, okay, you put some time in, but, now you know. I didn't miss out on the reunion. Since it's been a while, our reunion was the entire weekend. My grandparents have a farmhouse that sits on lots of acres, so a lot of us camped out the entire weekend. The first day was us setting up our tents. The second day, all our cousins, 20 to 40 years old, had a kickball tournament. And the third day, we had a big fish fry. That sounds awesome. My family kept my mind busy those days, as she wasn't speaking to me, and it helped me so much. I can't wait to have a partner I can share memories with like this weekend with. Thank you for everyone who gave me advice. Wonderful. A happy ending. He, messed up a little bit along the way. It happens, but he ended things right. Now going forward to this guy and any guy that's in a situation like this with a chick like this, you can't tolerate this crap. But again, this is why you spend years getting to know your girl before you propose and move in and all that, because you need a real life situation to show who they are. People can fake for a while, especially a girl that wants a guy because he has good qualities that she wants to have in a husband, whether she's really into him or not. But eventually, situations will arise to show who she is. And she had to do this in front of his whole family. He was looking forward to this. I guarantee he was probably talking about this for months, But she had to ruin it. Says everything about her character. And again, I stand by this. Your girl throws a big freaking tantrum. And people have disagreements. That's okay. In relationships, nobody's going to agree all the time. In fact, I worry about the couples that never, ever disagree about anything. Doesn't mean you got to fight all the time. But if you have a disagreement, it happens in public, a good girl or guy will talk about it calmly, or at least walk away from the crowds, to discuss it. Not what she did and making him look like a jackass and all. No. That's unacceptable. They act like that, guys. End it. You know why? Because if you don't, it's going to keep happening and get worse. I've seen couples like this. It's not pretty. But he did the right thing, so good for him. But I just say in the future, do your vetting process better early on so that you don't spend 15 months with a chick. It turns out to be a lunatic, and you're going to be all right. Now, a few comments before I wrap this up, because I like to hear from the peanut gallery. Everybody's on his side, which is wonderful. One guy says, not the a-hole. You told her where you were going and asked if she wanted to go with you. And you saw her several times while you were moving them. You could have done more to reassure her. You could not have done more to reassure her. Plus, I'm sure no one thought anything bad of her being alone. She majorly overreacted. You think? Another one. Frankly, she didn't deserve the courtesy that you showed her. I agree. Even if she did have social anxiety, that would have been her issue to deal with. It would not in any way have excused the terrible abuse she showered on you. That was perfectly reasonable behavior on your part. She sounds like a hateful person, and you're well rid of her. I'm glad you have the good sense and self-respect to break up with her and block her. Amen. Anybody here think that this is the end? That he's not going to hear from her, her best friend? No way. She'll be back. And last one, this guy says, OP, you don't know how happy I was reading your update. Bravo to you for dumping the insecure drama queen. Man, you dodged that crazy-ass bullet. He certainly did. If she gets that upset for you going to help carry tables, then I can just imagine the hissy fit she would have thrown over something actually worth getting upset about. And how does standing around alone for 10 to 15 minutes while your partner is busy carrying tables for grandma make someone look like a dumbass? I've never, not once, thought someone looked like a dumbass at a gathering simply because they're standing around alone for a few minutes. Thank you. I'm so glad you went back to your grandparents' place and had a great time camping out with all your cousins, along with a big game of kickball. Now that's my idea of fun. Family reunion. Seeing that kind of person your now ex-girlfriend is, I can imagine her having fun doing something like that at all. She sounds very immature and self-centered. And your future relationships, I hope you find someone more compatible, mature, and respects you for the kind of human that you sound like you are. That kind of human? Who wrote this? A fucking cat? Anyhow, good for him. So guys, I don't need to repeat myself. Lesson learned. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, if you found a good story, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a story definitely worth covering, I will. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.